Hey guys, Rob Shoecraft, 3 Storm Fitness. Today I'm going to be talking about my Rogue R4 power rack. It is the crown jewel of my little 700 square foot pole barn gym here. This is where I train all my clients and my family and myself. And all we need here, as far as power racks go, at least so far, has been the Rogue R4. I carefully selected it after reading many reviews. I decided on the Rogue brand, excuse me, so mind the finger there. Decided on the Rogue brand after had a lot of other brands I was considering, but I spent a lot of time using Rogue units, and I've been happy with a lot of the gear that I've used, and they let me play on other stuff when I go up to their warehouse, so I drank their Kool-Aid and I was sold on it. So that's why I went with the brand. The reason I went with the Rogue R4 as opposed to a couple of the other units I was looking at, namely the R3 and a couple of the Echo series, was for several reasons. Number one, we're looking at 43 inches of depth on the inside here, within the cage. Oh, look at that, we're in the cage, wow. I feel like a savage beast. All right, 43 inches within there, which is, I think, close to twice as much space as you get in the R3. And so that can get really important if you are doing a lot of lifts that require full range of motion, a lot of movement, and you want to use these little pin pipe safety bars, which we'll get to in a minute. If you're doing squats or you're doing a bench press where you're relying solely on those bars to save you from dying. I wanted that space. Another reason I got it, with the extra depth, what's important to me, I'm training up to 3 people on this unit at one time. So, if it was just me, I might have gone with the R3. But because I want, say, somebody on the back end here, maybe doing overhead presses, somebody over here doing squats, maybe somebody hanging off the side doing TRX rows or something mounted there, or dips with the Matador dip bar here, which is awesome. I love this thing. I'll do a separate review on it. Wow, I am just all over the place. This is the first time I made the camera from this angle. I'm sorry, I'm getting used to it. Apologize, folks. Hope you're not throwing up too much. This unit was a breeze to put together, relatively speaking anyway. I was expecting it to be a lot harder. Mounting it to the concrete was a huge pain, but that's not Rogue's fault. It has stayed, it's been bulletproof. I put this together all by myself, and I am not handy in the least, so if I can do it, you can do it. That old adage applies full well. Here we have the Infiniti J Hooks. These are super easy to pop in and out. Very heavy duty. I believe they can hold up to 1,000 pounds. I have not put it to that test yet. Fortunately, I do not possess that level of strength, neither do any of my clients. But if you need to, it should be all right. I hit my head on this the other day. That really sucked, but it just showed me even further how robust and steady these things are. Very easy to slide in and out. It only comes with a pair, only comes with 2, which is plenty for most people. That's all they're gonna need. But because I've trained multiple folks at once with a lot of different things going on, I bought a second pair. Want to say it was around $60, 60 bucks for the second pair. Well worth it in my opinion. These things are bulletproof. As is the powder coat finish. I really, I've heard that it wears down a lot. I haven't experienced that though. I put this thing through probably thousands of reps so far. I've had it for about 5 months, and like I said, I'm training people 5 days a week on this thing, 8 hours a day, up to anyway, and again, 3 people at once. I say it's in pretty darn condition considering that. As far as the spacing, we're not going really in particular order here. As far as features go, but I'll just get right to the spacing on the holes. So first of all there's a whole lot of holes in this. I chose the R4, another reason over the R3 or the Echo, over the Echo series was because it had all the Infiniti configuration attachments. So you can attach things like the Matador dip bar, which again is really awesome. You can attach things like the Rogue GHD, which I have over here, attached to my Rogue strip, which is a 2x3 piece of steel bolted to a 4x6. If I wanted to, I could take that GHD, I could haul it over here, plug it right into this unit here, and it holds up super well. I've done it. I also have bought the the plate storage, made really good use of that, haven't I? It's sitting there on the floor. Well, the reason for that, and this is kind of a downside, I guess. It's also poor planning on my part if I was really gonna blame anybody. I bought that plate storage so that I could hang these directly off the side, and it does do that just fine. It holds the weight very well. Since it's bolted to the floor, it is not going anywhere. The only downside is, as you can see, if you buy that, you just want to make sure that that you're going to cover up, that the holes that are going to be covered up are not holes that you're going to be using very frequently. As you can see, it's going to be flush, and it's going to make all the holes about 1.5 foot worth of holes unusable. If you're just by yourself, you can fix that in a spot where you rarely ever use that space. But again, since I'm training multiple people on this simultaneously, I need all the space I can get, and it just wasn't very practical. It does, however, make a pretty nice little storage on the floor there. I'm not too upset about it. You have 3 different pull-up bars. You have a skinny up here at the top. You got a big fat grip right here, and another skinny right there. Pull-up bars, kind of take it for granted. They come with just about every power rack. But when you have something rock solid as this, steady foundation, you're not swinging around, the thing's not rocking, so you can really hone in on your form. Fantastic with the pull-up bars. These are the little pins that attach things like the Matador to the side. Very, very easy to slip in and out. Dadgummit. There we go. Very easy to slip in and out when you're not manning a camera and you have 2 hands to do it. We have band pegs here. Band pegs, those familiar with, I guess, more advanced training, accommodating resistance. You could use resistance bands like the ones we have here. Resistance bands, they strap to, gosh, you'd be a total stud if you were using this one. Strap to the top, or more than likely the bottom. You can plug the bands into the bottom holes as well. And with the added resistance, you can get into some pretty hardcore plateau busting advanced techniques straight out of the West Side Columbus gym, Louis Simmons approved. However, none of my clients are really high-level athletes trying to break through crazy strength plateaus and performance gains. And honestly, myself, I don't use it very much. I like to geek out on it a little bit. But those pegs are totally bulletproof. Right now I'm using them as collar caddies, and they're doing quite well up there. What else we got going on here? This thing, like I said before, it is not, I've literally done a running jump. I'm not going to do it because I only have one arm here. But I've done a running jump and I've swung back and forth on this just to test its durability. It doesn't go anywhere. The thing is solid. We have a couple different types of spacing here. We have the 2-inch spacing, which is going to run up about half of the post. The 2-inch spacing, that's going to be great for just about any squat or overhead press type configuration. And then we have the West Side, ward up to Mac 10 WC and Ice Cube, of course, but more specifically and appropriately, Louis Simmons and the West Side Barbell Club. These are the West Side hole spacing. You have 1-inch spacing all the way down to almost the end. It's going to be excellent for really honing in your things like your bench for the pin pipe configuration, so that you don't kill yourself and you can still get plenty of range of motion with 1 inch in between holes that allows you to do that. I also love the West Side spacing. I chose the West Side spacing really specifically for clients that I have who can't do push-ups from the floor or are working on some pull-up progressions, doing maybe recline rows on the barbell. So I'll have people doing barbell rows, barbell push-ups. And with this 1-inch spacing, we can really hone in their progress. So it allows you to do a lot more with that, depending on what your application is as a trainer, if you are a trainer. As far as the push pin stuff goes, or the push, pin pipe safety, it is super, super durable. You can see some slight scuff marks on here. no big deal though. I mean, we consider what I've done to this thing. I've done like 600-pound rack pulls for reps because I'm such a beast. Not really, but I mean 600-pound rack pulls, slamming it into the pipe. It may not look like much. When I saw it, I thought, this is kind of cheap, but it's, first of all, it's very heavy, and it is absolutely bulletproof. This pin, it's not like a little coat hanger. This thing is solid. It is kind of a pain in the butt though to get it in and out. A lot of people complain they hate the pin pipe, and I almost didn't buy it because of that. I almost got a different configuration for the safety bars, but I gotta say it's not that big of a deal. It is a little pain in the butt. It's not very easy, but once you've done it, like anything, once you've done it a number of times, it becomes second nature. And the reason it's such a pain in the butt, people think it's such a pain, is because it's tough to line up the holes. So what I've done, and I've done this for actually a number of reasons, I got a little red, white china, whatever it's called, like a little wax pencil, like for construction usage, and I just numbered all of the holes on all 4 posts. This is great for, you know, if I could say for when a client comes in here, we know, say that they use the 36th hole for their squat. So we don't have to waste any time lining them up and everything, just hammer in here. Or if I have somebody that comes in and maybe they're working on their push-ups and they were able to do it on the 15 slot on barbell push-ups. So we don't have to, again, waste time finding out where they are in the warm-up and everything. We just get right to it if need be. So that's great to have that numbering system. I highly recommend it. I wish Rogue just did that, but they didn't. And I'm sure they have good reason. They're smarter than me. Also on the other side, I actually did measurements in inches. Again, those are hole spaces over there, increments. These are actual measurements in inches. That way, if I have somebody who wants to work out at another gym, or say on this squat rack over here, we can go by actual measurements rather than just the arbitrary holes for the R4. Trying to think of anything else we want to cover. One thing I didn't really like about it, and this is really my fault, and I probably wouldn't have done it any other way, to be frank, but this is kind of something I needed to decide. If you want a really tall, so I'm about 6'4", and if I want to do, say, dead hang pull-ups, I can't really do them from this. Most of my clients can, if they can do pull-ups. They don't have any problem because they're not, again, I'm a bit taller than average. So if that's consideration for you, if that's important to you, this is 90 inches tall. So consider put your arms over your head. I'm sure you can figure out how to measure whether or not it's going to be 90 inches. Another thing, if you want to really take advantage of doing some of the safety feature of having a cage around you, and you want to do overhead presses, a guy my height is not going to be able to do overhead presses in this thing. It's going to be just too short. But honestly, I've barely had any problem with that. I have rings I like to do pull-ups on anyway. A lot easier on my shoulders and wrists. Perhaps another video. Actually, I think I've done like 3 of them, all of that already. So watch them. And yeah, if you have any questions about this, hopefully I didn't leave anything too important. Super solid unit. It's 2x3 steel, or sorry, 2x3 posts, 11 gauge steel, which is just about all you need. This thing can take a severe beating. Like I said, I have people beating this thing up all day long. It still looks pretty darn good. It's not going anywhere at all. You can do dips off the side while somebody else is pulling on the other side while somebody's squatting. Just beat the snot out of it. I would probably use it and recommend it for maybe as long as it's within any sort of legal regulation. Like a mom and pop commercial gym. Maybe not for the super hardcore, you know, savages. Like Louis Simmons probably has something a little more stout, maybe a 3x3 post. I don't know if he has 7 gauge steel, but something like that. But for most people, man, this is going to be plenty. Spoil yourself if you have a garage gym and you have the space for it. It's a 53 inch by 53 inch footprint, I believe. Look it up on the site though if you need confirmation. That's about it, folks. Rob Shoecraft is my name. Fun is my game. Henry Swanson's my name. Okay, anyways. Rob Shoecraft, 3 Storm Fitness. Please subscribe to my videos. If you have any questions on the R4, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. And have a great day.